All right, this is my final version of this particular build, and I just wanted to record it again so I have like an archive, a memory of it, because I'm gonna leave it alone for now. I think I've done enough housing for a minute, but I will have another idea percolating that I'm going to explore in the next coming weeks, month, who knows. But just one final walkthrough of this rogue estate. Um, anyway, outside remains the same. Inside you can see some new additions. These pillars with the sconces help kind of fill in the space a bit. I always felt it was a little bit empty, and I think that added a little bit to it. As well as these carpets. I sucked it up and went and farmed some ancient anima to buy some more of these Suramar carpets. The kitchen and the library are the same. One thing that did change was this room. I clawed back some of my housing budget because I had spent, like I said, 250s, 260 just in this room. I had used a small square room. I moved it to a small tiny room. I think the effect isn't hugely different, and I regained about 110 maybe housing budget, which I used to improve the density of some of the other areas. So I'm going to go through real quick because I don't need to show all the pieces, just the updates. So this one I added these cobwebs to help make it feel kind of abandoned. And now here's this room that got rearranged. The poison area was split between this side and this side over here. I kind of consolidated it into this corner and made it into its own nook. And I think it kind of reinforces the effect by splitting them into their own parts of the floor. And then I added these little boxes and bits to make it feel more alive and a little bit more lived in. I went and farmed the rares on Dark Shore and got the banner there. I also finished up some order hall stuff and got the rogue table. So this area got fleshed out a bit. I think it looks a lot nicer. These little cushions, I dyed them red and made a red X on the Worgen map. I think that's a fun little touch there. And here we have a new storage area just to kind of give the room some vertical space, give it some, occupy that emptiness that was up there. And so this area got updated, and I think that was a relatively decent update to make it look a little bit more visually interesting. So off we go to the next area. Everything else is the same. This room is the same. Well, one thing I did add was a toilet in here, and I used that the zebra rug to make one of those furry toilet lids. So that's just a small touch in there. Let me hop over. And in this room, I kind of used it for some storage. I just had a weapon rack here before, and now I've kind of made it into a little artifact item storage space. Gives it more of a closet feeling. And back into the gym. This room is largely the same, but I did go grind up to rank 7 in the Brawlers Guild. And so I got this snazzy punching bag dummy and the boxing gloves to kind of fill out this room. I also used the schmancy goblin lights. And then I took these lamps, I put them on their side, and I think they create a nice wash of lighting around the edge without making it too much down lighting. So the room isn't overly bright, but it has some kind of dynamic lighting going on around the top there. So that was an update there. In here, I added this little shelf and put some potions to kind of go with the theme of, you know, training and recovery. And here I removed the Forge of the Guardian to claw back a few points and replace it with a fence post, and it has a, you know, a decent effect there. All right, let's go up to the... Oh. I did find that that jump was difficult for night elves because we did a little tour with our guild, and so I lowered it a bit, so the jumping distance is a little different. So here you'll notice that there's alcoves now. So that small room that I replaced, here I made these rooms the closets. So I have 3 little closets, and I kind of created some lighting effects in here to set that off and made these alcoves for weapon racks. And a couple other changes. I replaced the Horde War table with the Order Hall, the Warrior Order Hall table, and I think it fits the space a little bit better. Also, fun fact, this top that kind of shimmers, when you put a lighting source on it, it illuminates even more than it already is, and it gives this whole space a much brighter feel. The other thing is I moved a couple of these plants around, and you'll notice when you get in here, it's actually easier to see where you are. And now you come up into the treasure room and Rogue Forge. Again, I kind of consolidated the space. I put books on the floor to make it feel a little bit denser and a little bit more lived in, and more treasures. I went and farmed the treasure pile, did that quest line, and just put chests all over the place to make it really feel like there's a bunch of treasure in here. And that marks the end of the updates for this space and for this particular housing project. I really want to explore verticality in my next project, and so I'll post that sometime when I get around to it. But that is it and concludes the Rogue estate. I'm going to live with it for a little bit and come up with some plans for my next build. Thank you all.